a lot of times, most times, probably 99% of the time, is to prevent themselves from connecting to you emotionally. And then when it's time to leave, poof, they can leave quicker, faster. And you're sitting there like, have to deal with a Leon or Leona just leaving you with no answers, right? And so what happens is they minimize your efforts. Don't you ever notice that they don't like you to call a lot or text a lot? And this is something I still have to work on, but I'm aware of it. But when I wasn't aware, I would just say, you call me too doggone much, you text too much, you text too long. And I remember doing this recently, like, I wasn't yelling, but I was like, I got to stop doing that. And so I work on it now. But because you have to be cognizant of other people's feelings and emotions. But narcissistic people are not. They're removed from that, and so it's like they don't care. That lack of empathy. So the lack of empathy, this is how it derives from the narcissistic person. Of course, childhood, but then they'll stop you. What they'll do is you start to be and think and act like them. They'll want you to stop calling so much and you'll do it. They'll want you to stop texting so much and you'll do it. They want you to stop asking so many questions and you'll do it, right? And then you start to have low expectations, which is what they want, because narcissistic people don't like to have high expectations from anyone or anyone expecting high expectations from them, unless it's somebody that they need, like a co-worker, right? Their boss, right? A team that they're trying to get on. They don't mind those people having high expectations of the narcissistic person because they want to prove them wrong, right? And then have people just to glorify them and look at me, what I've done. So they want you to have low expectations just like they do. Not calling so much, not talking so much, not emailing so much, not wanting to cuddle so much, not wanting to hold hands all the time. Okay, things like that. And then you become happy, then you become sad. So they regulate your emotions and your feelings because they're trying to minimize who you really are. And then you wind up changing for them and you're not yourself. And then what happens is later on, when you realize that, I'm not doing fighting to please them and to treat them right, and they push you away, you realize you can't even be yourself. A lot of y'all get stuck in that position because you think you're trying to do the right thing and you're not, right? And so here's what happens. I got my notes here. Here's what happens. First thing they do is they reduce you, right? And then when they reduce you, they berate you. And then after they berate you, they devalue you. And then when they devalue you, you mean nothing to yourself. You mean nothing to them. Then you start trying to prove them wrong. So they devalue you, and you've been reduced, devalued, and berated, and now you feel insecure. And so now you're trying to chase back that feeling of making them happy again. And so then they discard you, and then they blame you for the discard. So now the lack of empathy comes in because they have reduced you to nothing. So, reduce you to who they are. So when it's time for them to detach and go away, they do, and then they'll blame you. Because why? You have been doing what you're supposed to do in a relationship. Why? Because you believed in them. Why? Because you wanted them. Why? Because you wanted to make them happy. And they wanted you to make them happy, but they want you to make them happy on their terms. And so they reduce you, they berate you, they discard you, and they just get rid of you, make you feel less than who you are, right? They groom you to be who they are, and it's easier for them to walk away. Then they'll blame you and say, it's your fault because you were this person when we first started, and now you become me. Don't act like me, be yourself. When all along, they try to get you to become them. So that's what happens. And then the lack of empathy comes in the whole time. All right, you have a great day.